What's going on, Thrylos fans all over the world, from Piraeus to Brussels, from Athens to Baltimore, Melbourne to Montreal? This is Thrylos International, your global voice of Olympiacos in English and in Greek. Tuesday night, BayArena in Leverkusen. It's the second leg. Olympiacos is 2-0 down from the first leg. It's do or die for Olympiacos against Bayer Leverkusen in the UEFA Champions League playoff second leg. Olympiacos seemingly have a mountain to climb, but could we witness another European miracle? Let's break it down properly. This will be the third time we face Leverkusen this season. In the league phase, it was a 2-0 victory for Olympiacos with goals from Costinha and Rodinei. In the first leg last week, 2-0 to Leverkusen. So that's one win each, 2-0 each time. Now, people say 2-0 is a dangerous lead. Only two teams in Champions League history have ever lost a tie after winning the first leg away by 2 goals. Add to that the fact that Bayer Leverkusen have just 2 home defeats in 18 European home games. So they're extremely comfortable at the BayArena. So the task for Mendilibar and his men is monumental. And nights like these don't reward hope, they reward perfection. That's what Olympiacos needs against Leverkusen. Perfection and a bit of luck. Now, Leverkusen lost 1-0 to Union Berlin at the weekend in the domestic fixture in the Bundesliga. But they rested some players, notably Schick, the goal scorer in the previous leg, Poku, the guy who got the assist and sort of terrorized us down the left wing, and Vasquez. They all started on the bench and they all came on later. So they rotated with Tuesday in mind. Will they come out to protect their lead, sit back, wait for spaces to appear and hit us on the counter? They're mainly a side that scores their goals in the second half. But let's see. Olympiacos, on the other hand, we're coming from a 2-0 win against Panaitolikos. In the second half especially, we played some of our best football this season in the league. In my opinion, we were controlled, more structured, patient. We moved the ball well. We crossed the ball into the box less than 40 times. So, Pirola and Yazıcı got on the score sheet for the record. And let's just talk about Lorenzo Pirola for one moment. He cracked his head open against Leverkusen last Wednesday following that collision with Lorenzo Pirola. With Panaitolikos, and blood everywhere. Stitches. And 3 days later, he comes in the game against Panaitolikos. He's a starter, headband on, Adidas headband, white, and he scores a header from a corner to open the scoring. Scenes. Fantastic player, Lorenzo Pirola. I think should be getting a look for the Italian national team this summer. Bit off topic, but we can talk about that another time. Then Yusuf Yazıcı pops up in the 83rd minute, his usual 5-10 minute cameo that he gets from coach Mendilibar, and he scores. I think that's his 7th goal this season, and I still can't understand how he's not in the UEFA list. Pain, side note, but Mendilibar did rotate smartly. Thrylos was rested, Rodinei was rested, Heze was rested, Muzakidis as well. We started the game with Dani Garcia and Lolo Scipioni. They both played the full game. André Luiz got his first start. He looked lively. He looked hungry. Just missing that goal that will propel him, I think, and give him more confidence. He got a good clap from the fans when he came off. And for those of you that like your stats, here's a stat. André Luiz, in 30 minutes, had more successful 1v1 dribbles than any other Olympiacos player this season, according to Wyscout. But for me, we need to talk about Diogo. Diogo Nascimento was the standout. Surprise in the lineup. He played out wide on the left in more of a free role. more recently, I've said, that he hasn't had a run of games to for us to be able to judge him fairly. What I liked about him in that role is that he played freely. He didn't just cut inside and cross the ball every time. He looked for 1-2s. He looked to link play. When he did cut inside, if he had space, he wasn't afraid to take a shot. It's still something he needs to improve on, but he got his shots on target from what I remember. He gave us something different, something unpredictable, and just keeping the ground on the floor, looking to play football, not just play the ball into the box direct. I really appreciated that in what he gave us. Even this is a game in the Greek league, but in the Greek league we've been underperforming. I think, to be fair, we haven't seen the best football this season. Most Olympiacos fans will agree with that. Unpredictability is exactly what we lacked in that first leg against Leverkusen, by the way, because Leverkusen had already faced us in the group, in the league phase. They knew our patterns. They knew what to look out for. They knew what to expect. Saying all of that, Podence hasn't really looked himself the last couple of months. Throwing Diogo on in the second leg would be risky, but it could give us the element of surprise, even against Leverkusen's more physical big men at the back. And I would like to see him get an opportunity tomorrow. I'm going to put myself out there on that one. If not as a starter, certainly he needs to get a role tomorrow. Yeah. Would I consider even Podence as a second striker? I think I mentioned this on the last Greek show that I did live. At this point, yes. I don't think he's the same winger we had during his first stint, or even the second one for that matter. He's played as a second striker for Wolves when he was in the Premier League. He played there for Al-Shabaab. He can turn and face the goal on the swivel, drive and run at defenders, draw fouls, generally can create chaos. But let's be real. Will it happen? Probably not. Midfield preference. Even if Mouzakitis was rested at the weekend, I'd like to see Heza Scipioni. For me, it's a midfield that adds more bite, more protection. They're more aggressive. And I think they can both let the front four play with a bit more freedom to express themselves and be outlets in transition opportunities. Mouzakitis for me has been on a bit of a downer the last month or so. I know he's a player that we need to put out in the shopping window, so to speak. Big academy prospect, his valuation has been going up. But in terms of impact on the game, I feel like, for example, in the Ajax game, Scipioni came on in the last 20 minutes. I felt like he had more of an impact in the game than Mouzakitis did while he was on the pitch. And it's about impact. Maybe Mouzakitis can have an impact as a sub. I don't know. But from the get-go, I think we need to start aggressive, and we need everybody to make their presence felt. And the midfield duo for me is really, really key. What do we have to do? We have to score early. Simple. No early goal. It's almost impossible to turn this one around. Even if we score early, I repeat, we need perfection. In Champions League, we need perfection, because Bayer Leverkusen are also a second half team. Most of their Champions League goals this season have come after the break. They'll stay calm. They'll wait. They will hit when we open up. The question is, do they sit back and let us struggle to break them down, or do they try and kill the game off early? Let's see. The bookmakers give us a 3% chance of winning this and turning the tie on its head. But, we've faced these kind of odds before. After the 4-1 defeat to Maccabi Tel Aviv in the infamous charge towards the Conference League, we had a 0.1% chance of winning the Conference League after that 4-1 defeat. And we all remembered what happened. We went on to win it. we don't do logical. We like to do European madness as Olympiacos fans. So I'll take 3% every day of the week. Predicted lineup, I'm expecting Zoulakis in goal. Obviously, again, I repeat, expected lineup, what I think Mendilibar will go with. Zoulakis in goal. I think Rodinei will start at right back, even though I would probably start Costinha, to be fair. Reto Spirola, unnegotiable. 2 centre-backs. Please, 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 no injuries, please. If we want to have any hope of getting something out of this game, we need those two to play the entire fixture. No doubt about it. Reto Spirola, Ortega, Hezin, Mouzakitis will probably start. Again, they were rested at the weekend. And then I think it will be Podence, Chiquinho, Gelson, and El Kaabi leading the line. Would I be shocked to see Taremi with El Kaabi? Taremi didn't play at the weekend. I think he came on a little bit at the end. I won't be surprised to see a 4-4-2 with those two up front. Do I think it works perfectly? No. I think we've talked about that before on this show. I think we need Chiquinho's intensity behind the striker. And if I'm being brutally honest, I would absolutely 100% start André, Luiz and Gelson Martins on the wings. They're clearly our best wingers that should be starting every game in my book. But maybe even Podence as a second striker. I mentioned that earlier, but I don't think it will happen. But let's see what Mendy cooks up. We always try and predict what Mendy is going to do, and he always finds ways to surprise us and off time, make us scratch our heads. And before closing up, I'm going to go on a little bit of a rant about Yazıcı, Yusuf Yazıcı. I would have loved to have him available tomorrow. Mendilibar was asked about him after the Panaitolikos game. He basically said, he was asked about Yazıcı's minutes and his contribution to the team. And he said, when we've given him more time, he hasn't performed. And when he's had little time, he has. And maybe that's true, but just in reality, the one big start that he got was in a cup game against Bayer, which we lost at home, and he was subbed off in the 25th minute. And he was playing as a winger, and he's never played as a 10 in his natural position. Games like these, though, you don't need 90 minutes of intensity and consistency. You need one moment. You need one shot, one set piece, one through ball. I'm fed up of seeing Rodinei take corners and free kicks and the ball's not going past the near post. We're talking about a dead ball specialist here. We're talking about a player that can pick out a pass, that can create chaos, create something out of nothing. This player, he has the highest goal contribution per 90 in the team, Yusuf Yazıcı. 1.6 goal contributions per 90, the highest in the team. Facts. The guy's got elite shooting technique from distance. He can hit the ball cleanly with minimum backlift, vision between the lines. He's a kind of player, again, that can create something out of absolutely nothing. And against a team like Leverkusen, who are comfortable defending in a structured way, you need that. A half chance at the edge of the box, a free kick, a good set piece. It hurts me that he's not in the UEFA list. It obviously probably hurts him more. But I think, it is what it is. Coach is a stubborn man, by his own words, not by mine. So, alas, we move on. Prediction for tomorrow. I'm going to go with a crazy one because screw it, why not? 3-1 Olympiacos in regular time, and we win on penalties. Call me crazy, clip this. Yes, but Champions League is about magic. It's about the stars. So why not us? 3-1, I say, in regular time, then penalties. I'll be in Germany for this one. If you're traveling, have a good time, sing loud, support the team, represent, enjoy it. This could be our last Champions League game of this season. So if you're traveling out to Germany, give it everything you've got, guys. To all our Thrylos family worldwide, again, thank you for riding this journey with us. If you're new here, this is Thrylos International, the global voice of Olympiacos. Hit the like if you believe, subscribe if you live for these European nights, turn notifications on so you don't miss post-match reaction from Germany, as well as a vlog that will be coming after the game for sure. check out all the vlogs that we've done in our travels over the years. And before you go, big shout out to our sponsor, PureVPN. If you're outside Greece and you struggle to watch Olympiacos highlights or content, a VPN can improve connection stability, it can increase online security, and it can give you access to region-restricted content. Always, like when you're looking for highlights after a game's finished, Cosmote, etc. You know the drill. You can use a VPN for that. So scan the QR code that's on the screen right now to get your exclusive Thrylos deal with PureVPN and support the channel at the same time. So it's Tuesday night, BayArena, against the odds, but this club doesn't live in comfort. It lives in chaos. We live for these kinds of games. Let's see if we can write another chapter in Olympiacos history. See you in Germany. Forza Thrylos, vamos Olympiacos.